naught and y naught are generally given to you, and it is a curve of solution P of x naught y naught as shown in figure. So in figure you can see that P is a point and its coordinates are x naught. Just a minute. Okay, P has a coordinates x naught and y naught. So these are the coordinates of P of x naught y naught, and the dashed line PQ is the curve we can say for given function f of xy, and we are interested in the ordinate of any point q, and for which the x coordinate is given, that is x naught plus nh. So Euler method is used for estimating the approximate value of y, that is called ordinate of q. So what is done? So the x-intercepts, that is L and M, for the function f of xy corresponding to points P and Q. Now this interval Lm is divided into n number of sub-intervals, and all intervals are equal. And for different segments we can give names as L, L1, L2, so on up to M. And the accuracy of the value of y depends on the value of h. And in order to get more accurate answer, we need to keep the value of h as small as possible. So whenever you are going to apply Euler's method, you need to divide this interval Lm into n number of equal sub-intervals, and the number of intervals should be maximum so that h will be very small. Then now slowly we will move ahead and we will try to find out the next approximate value starting with P. So let me select pen once again. Okay, so we will start from point P. It has, as I already mentioned, that it has two coordinates, that is x coordinate is x naught and y is y naught, which is already given to you. Then we draw a tangent from point P to the curve PQ, and that particular tangent will intersect the ordinate through L1 at point P1. So you can see here the P1 point is there. Yes, you can see a point P1 is there. So it has two coordinates, that is x coordinate is x naught plus h, and corresponding y coordinate you can see in the figure. So that would be y1. Now x naught plus h we can easily calculate because x naught is given to you in the problem, generally given to you in the problem, and the value of h you already decided. So only one unknown is, that is y1. So in order to calculate y1, we will use this particular interval L1, and the trigonometry we will be using to calculate y1. So let's see how we do it. So y1 is equal to L1p, P1. So in the figure you can see L1p will give you the length y1 or y coordinate of point P1. and this particular line L1 P1 can be rewritten as L1 R1 plus R1 P1. So we know the intermediate point, so we are expressing L1 P1 as L1 R1 plus R1 P1. But this L1 R1 is nothing but LP. So you can see in the figure that the length of L1 R1 and LP are equal. From mathematics we can easily guess, and that's why we are replacing L1 R1 by LP, and L1 sorry R1 P1 as it is. Then what we will do, we will replace the LP by Y0, because we know that LP is nothing but Y0. So that we have, so we can put Y0, and that will be the initial value of Y, that is Y0. And for calculating R1 P1, we will use triangle PR1 P1, and for which angle theta is known to us. So if we take tan theta, then the tan theta will be R1 P1 divided by PR1. So that equation can be rewritten as R1 P1, which is equal to PR1 tan theta. So this is how we converted the given equation into a form of which most of the values are known to us. Here Y0, which is the initial condition of Y and given to you. Then PR1 is nothing but the interval that we decided, which is H, and tan theta could be dy by dx at any point P, and this dy by dx is nothing but f of xy. This equation is given to you, and in that equation if we put the value of x and y, you will get the solution for the same, and P will be the any point and its coordinates are generally known. So in this particular case you can see the x0 and y0 are given to you. So this is how we converted the equation of y1 in a form for which all the values are known to us, or we can calculate those values. So this is how, with the help of this geometry, we can calculate the approximate value of y1 by using equation y0 plus h into f of x0 y0. And this is the approximate value because the actual value will be somewhere here, that is the true value, but the numerical method we are using, that will give you the approximate value. So whatever will be the difference between this P and the actual point, sorry, P1 and the actual point, that will be the error. And in order to minimize that error, we need to take this interval h very, very small in order to minimize this particular error. So that is one of the approach to minimize the error. Similarly, in order to go to next point, that is P2, what we will do, from point P1 we will draw a tangent, and then from point L2 we will draw a vertical line, that is ordinate, that intersect that tangent at point P2. Now we can consider this geometry, that is L1, L2, P2, P1. We can find out the ordinate of P2. So just the process that we discussed for previous geometry, we can use the same process, and we can calculate y2 equal to, so you can see is after y1 we calculate y2, then it will be just the modification of the previous equation. Instead of y naught, you need to take y1. H interval is constant, so it will be as it is. And f of x naught y naught, you will see here as f of x naught plus h and y1. So here you can see that in the figure, instead of x naught, you will see x naught plus h, and instead of y1 y naught, you will see here the new value as y1. So this is how you can calculate the value of y2. And continuously from P2 to P3, you need to repeat the process till you reach to the approximate value of y in which we are interested. So Q is the point, and for that point, we know the x-axis coordinate, that is x naught plus nh, and true value of y is lying here. So you can see in the figure, it will be somewhere here. But with the help of Euler method, we get approximate value of y for point Q, which is somewhere here. And whatever will be the difference between these 2 points, that is approximate value of y and true value of y, that will be called as error. So this is how we proceed in order to calculate the value of y in which we are interested. Now what we will do, we will see some of the things related to Euler's method, and then we will move ahead. So very important thing is that when you are trying to solve the problem, you need to make sure that h should be very, very small. It will increase the number of iterations, but it will also make sure to get improved or better accurate value of y. So the value of h you need to decide, and that will decide the accuracy of the answer. And this final error you can see in the figure. Now we will see one example how we can apply Euler's method to solve a problem. So using Euler's method, find an approximate value of y in which we are interested corresponding to value of x. So x is given, and for which you need to calculate value of y. And the function is given, dy by dx is equal to x plus y. And the initial conditions are given, y naught equal to 1 and x naught equal to 0. So here in this problem, dy by dx, that is f of xy, is given to you, x naught y naught given to you, and y for which y for which x is given to you. So x is also known to you, but in this problem the value of h is not given to you. So the general thumb rule that we discussed in previous slide is that you need to take the value of h as small as possible. But from examination point of view, when equation is a simple type, that is x plus y, so you can easily put the values and calculate the answer. So in that case, it is recommended to take the value of n is equal to, number of steps equal to 10. That is, in order to decide the value of h, we will divide the given length Lm into 10 segments. So that's why n term is coming here. And by using that n, we can calculate the interval h. So generally, if simple type of problem will be there, you need to take the value of n as 10. If this equation is complicated, then you can take n equal to 5. And once you define the value of n, generally it is not given in the problem, you need to define. So to define, as I told you, you need to follow the rule, that is check the complexity of the equation. And once you get the value of n, you can calculate the value of h by using the equation x minus x naught upon n, where x is the last value of x for which we are interested in y. X naught is the initial condition of x which is given in the problem, and n, that is number of steps in which we will be reaching to the final solution, and generally we define the value of n. In this case n is 10. So x is 1, x naught is 0, and n is 10. So you will get the value of h, that is interval, as 0.1, which is sufficiently small for this particular example. Now we know that this is the general equation for yn. Yn is equal to yn minus 1 plus h into f of x naught plus n minus 1 into h yn minus 1. So this is very general equation, and in this the function f of xy can be rewritten as dy by dx at n minus 1. So we will use these values, and slowly we will reach to the value of y for given value of x. So instead of doing a calculation every time or iterations every time, you can prepare a table. So how to prepare this particular table? So in column number 1, you need to put the values of n. So n is equal to 10. So starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10. So this is how in column number 1 you can put the value of n. Then in column number 2 you will see the value of x. So at the beginning the initial value of x is x naught, that is 0. So you can see in the first row. Then the interval is h, that is 0.1. So x1 will be 0.1, x2 will be 0.2, x3 will be 0.3, then 0.4, 0.5, 0.6 up to 1. So this is how you can decide the value of x. That is, x is equal to x naught plus h. And that's why if you take the difference between any two successive value of x, you will see the difference as 0.1. So this is how you can prepare column number 2. Then in column number 3, the value of y is there, and initially you will have only the value of y naught, that is 1, because at the beginning only the initial conditions are given to you. So y naught is 1.0, and remaining values you need to calculate, and how to calculate that will be discussed in remaining columns. So then we have given equation dy by dx is equal to x plus y. So that we will put in column number 4, dy by dx is equal to x plus y. So which is given equation. And here what we are going to do, in order to calculate the value of dy by dx for each step, we will be using corresponding value of x and y which are given in previous columns of the same row. So by using that, initially the value of x naught and y naught is given to you, that is 0 and 1. So with the help of these two values you can calculate dy by dx as 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1. So this is how you can calculate the dy by dx at x naught y naught, which is equal to 1. Then once you get the value of dy by dx, then we can use this equation, that is yn is equal to yn minus 1 plus h into dy by dx into at n minus 1, where the yn minus 1 is nothing but old y, which you can see in the table, h which is the interval and which is constant as 0.1, and dy by dx, whatever you calculated in the previous column, you need to take that value. And upon simplification, you will get new y. Okay, so old y is 1, then h is 0.1, and dy by dx we estimated in the previous column and its value is 1. So 1 plus 0.1 into 1, you will get new y as 1.1. So this will be your first iteration for y, and its answer is 1.1. And that value you need to take here. You can see in the table row number 3. Then for second iteration, you can see x is 0.1, y 1.1, which we estimated previously. Then x plus y, that is 0.1 plus 1.1, you will get 1.2 as dy by dx. Then put all these values in column number 5, and you can see old y is 1.1, h is 0.1, dy by dx is 1.2, and you will get answer as 1.22. This will be your new value of y. So that you can put in this table, that is in column number 3, and again you need to repeat the process. So n is 2, x is 0.2, and y is 1.22. So here you can see dy by dx is 1.42, then old y 1.22, h 0.1, dy by dx 1.42, and answer you will get as 1.36, and that will be your new y. So every time what we will do, we will use the latest value of x and y in order to calculate the new value of y. And this is how we repeat the process, and you can get the latest value of x and y, that is x is equal to 1, for which we are interested in value of y, and you will get it here as 3.18. So this is how you can prepare a table for every iteration. So there are 10 number of iterations, and at the end of 10th iteration you will get value of y as 3.18 when x is equal to 1. So what we will do, I will repeat the process once again so that you will understand the problem. Okay, so before that I will stop this record.